Here is another edition of our video, and in today's video we are going to be talking about Palestine and people of Gaza. So join us in watching today's video, and do not forget, if you are here to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content, like, share, follow us. One more important thing, always comment.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Stars, we only want you to brief us about the current situation of Palestine, what's going on in Palestine, and before that, we want you to just say something about Palestine. Then after that, you can.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I think it's important to understand that the issue of the Palestinian, one can actually look at some of the events happening there from three angles. The first is from the humanitarian angle. The second is looking at it from the political angle. And the last is actually looking at it from the religious angle. From the humanitarian angle, the reality is that we are all humans first, before we are either Nigerians, you are Americans, you are Palestinians, or you are Israeli. And as human beings, we have some basic rights in terms of living our life. We shouldn't have anybody subjugating, oppressing, So now, if you're talking Palestine, either you're talking about what is happening in Gaza or what is happening in West Bank, now you're actually going to be having conversations around people who are being oppressed, people who their land has been occupied by an occupier using military strength. We are talking about people who have actually been killed. You have children being killed, you have adults being killed, you have women being killed, you have houses being destroyed, you have people who are being made to evacuate their houses, you have lands being stolen, you have livelihood being taken away. Now that's a way to summarize. You have, for example, Gaza is described as an open prison where you have about 2 million people living in a small piece of land where there is no access by road, there is no access by the ocean, and there is no access by air. Everything or their entire livelihood is controlled by an occupier. So that is the kind of scenario that they have found themselves. So the advocacy is for everybody to understand that nobody is expected to live their life like that. Nobody is expected to live their life under any form of occupation or any form of oppression or any form of subjugation. So as a people globally, we are all supposed to actually, talk on their behalf. Number two is the political factor. And I think a way to easily bring this to light is the recent invasion of Russia. Russia invaded Ukraine. The whole world came up to say, no, this shouldn't happen. But we are turning a blind eye to the exact same scenario in the case of Israel and Palestine. So if there are several United Nations resolutions that's against some of the atrocities being committed by the Israeli government, but we are not pushing this. So part of the conversation is that people should actually get to learn more about what is happening, understand that, look, this is a call to action for all of us to speak truth to power. Politically, we have political leaders who are only looking at their own political advantage and are not considering the human costs that is happening on the ground in terms of how the Palestinians have been oppressed. And the last part is actually to look at the Aqsa Mosque. This is a place that has been designated as a UNESCO, World Heritage Site. Now, people should have a right to worship, but you have a scenario where people are being prevented. They are not allowed to have the freedom of worship. They are not allowed to either go to the mosque, or you have those who are non-believers in the faith of that particular site going to the mosque to desecrate the mosque. Now, nobody wants this. Nobody likes this. So that's part of the advocacy, that there is a need for all of us to come together and actually talk truth to power that this should not happen, and not, of course, turn a blind eye to it.
What can you do to help the people of Gaza?
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Just like the question went, as Muslims, one of those things that we need to do is, one, to be aware about the happenings in Gaza. Gaza is a place in Palestine. We ought to be aware. We have to follow the events, how things are happening, how every day of the life of the Gazans is evil, how the enemies of the Israelis are perpetrating evil on the Gazans. We have to be aware. That's the first thing, awareness. We read it in the news, we follow up with the events that are happening over there. Another thing is that apart from being aware, we need to also inform other people. When we are aware about it, then we need to inform other Muslims. we need to call the attention of people who are concerned about humanity. We have to call their attention about it. Then another thing we can do is that after being aware personally, we also create the awareness. We also have to pray for them. There's a way we can also render assistance, maybe financially or whatever. There's a way we can, beyond praying, beyond being aware. There's a way we can render financial assistance to them or economic assistance. I think it's worth it.
The Prophet ﷺ has stated he has stated everything. He said it in an hadith, which by saying that when you see an oppressed person, you assist, and not only the oppressed, the person or the group that is also oppressing those, you should assist them. And the Sahaba came up with another question. How do we heard of those? I mean, those that have been oppressed. How do we? By telling the Prophet now replied by telling them that what they are by stopping them, and that is one of the reasons why this kind of a program came up.
As said, one of the ways with which we can support the people of Gaza, number one, is to send our du'as. Whenever you are praying to Allah, always remember the people of Gaza in your prayer. And another thing you can do is to support wherever any conversation that is with advocacy is being held. So together with me, with you, we can bring out Palestine. Long live Gaza, long live Palestine.
Long live Nigeria.
Long live Nigeria.
Long live Palestine, long live Gaza.
Long live Palestine! Long live Gaza!